Hello and welcome back to Whitney Alex Works recap of The Bachelorette Season 19, Episode 8, The Men Tell All. Before we begin, please like and subscribe here at Whitney Alex Works for more recap videos just like this one. Alright, let's dive into the infamous Men Tell All episode. The Men Tell All episode begins with host Jesse Palmer introducing us to the studio audience where contestants from this season of the historic double Bachelorettes are here to speak about what happened on this journey to find love. But first, before we hear from the eliminated men, we have some unfinished business to take care of, which is Avon's hometown date. Jesse Palmer teases that Rachel and Avon's hometown date is cursed as Rachel heads to Avon's hometown of Salem, Massachusetts, where the Salem witch trials were held back in the late 1600s. Lots of history to unpack there, and Rachel is rightly nervous as she just came off Tino's hometown date where his parents questioned the entire process and the realness of her relationships. She then meets up with Avon where they are happy to see each other, but Rachel tells him the truth, that she is worried about getting the approval of Avon's parents, and Avon tries to quell her concerns, hoping for the best. Avon and Rachel then head to a witch shop where they meet up with Lorelai, dubbed the Love Witch, where she does a love spell for the couple. And at the end of the spell, the entire table falls over, leaving Avon and Rachel questioning if the love spell just casted was actually a love curse. Next, we see Rachel and Avon heading in to meet Avon's parents, AJ and Dawn. Rachel admits she is shaking as she is extremely nervous, and they sit down to talk with Avon's parents. First up, Avon's father, AJ, talks to Rachel and questions her on the TV show Romance and whether or not Rachel and his son can bring the relationship into the real world. And despite being nervous, Rachel does handle herself with grace as she tells AJ that she cares for Avon and that she is taking this entire process very seriously. And AJ respects Rachel's realness and he gives his approval. Then Rachel is talking to Avon's mother, Dawn, who starts to question, the TV show Romance again, and eventually she too gives her approval, as this could be Rachel's future in-laws. And despite the table falling in the witch shop, it seems the love spell stayed strong, as Avon tells Rachel that he is falling in love with her. Rachel is over the moon as she kisses Avon and eventually tells the camera that she is falling in love with Avon too. After Avon's hometown date is aired, we head back to the studio where Jesse Palmer tells us that after hometowns, the remaining 6 men made it through. We see a glimpse as apparently there wasn't enough time to air the actual rose ceremony, but it's official. 6 men remain. Gabby has Eric, Johnny, and Jason left, and Rachel has Avon, Tino, and Zach left. But that's all the information we get as the episode begins its Men Tell All portion, where we are introduced to fan favorites and a few men who we have to try and remember their names. Roby the magician went full on Draco Malfoy and dyed his hair blonde, hoping to stand out apparently after going home back in episode 1. And then we see Logan, Ethan, Tyler, and Nate all there to talk about what happened on this season of The Bachelorette. And Jesse Palmer starts questioning the men, specifically the new process of having 2 bachelorettes, as he focuses on Logan and how he switched sides halfway through the season, only to be disqualified because of health reasons, which was pretty strange as he just kind of disappeared after causing so much drama. And the men there speak out that because of Logan's indecisiveness, a lot of drama was caused and a lot of dates were canceled. And obviously precious time was lost, which could have been used to make stronger connections with either Rachel or Gabby. But Logan states that the scrutiny about him is fair, as he wished he could have been more decisive in the beginning. And then Jesse switches to some other controversial contestants, some who aren't even there. Chris, who had his Fantasy Suites comments back in episode 2, and Hayden, who pissed off Bachelor Nation by disrespecting both bachelorettes, and also Jacob, a romance novel mortgage broker who has come to offer his apology about his behavior on this season. And really, the Men Tell All is a chance for forgiveness and a chance for controversial contestants to cleanse themselves before they either go on with their lives or head to paradise. And with Hayden not being there, the men rip him apart, saying that he was rude and disrespectful and that not being there has shown his true character. And then we head back to Logan, where he takes the hot seat, and he is again called out for his story arc where he is portrayed as leading Rachel on, only to switch sides to Gabby halfway through. He takes some needed heat, but Logan holds strong as he says he was following his heart and he wishes that he could have let Rachel know his true feelings way earlier than when he finally did. But with that said, we soon learn that switching sides, Logan is heading to the beaches of paradise, where we will see him maybe switch some more sides with who he hands out his roses to on the beaches of Mexico. Then Jesse Palmer makes an announcement to the audience, which was teased as something that will change our lives, and really, he was only talking about the audience's lives, as they all win a free cruise like it's the Oprah Winfrey Show, and the audience has a little small party moment in their celebration. Moving on from the audience partying, Nate takes the hot seat next, and we see a recap of his relationship with Gabby, only to be sent home because Gabby was not ready to step into the mother role so soon, which is all understandable, as Nate doesn't hold any grudges or blames Gabby for being raw and honest with him about her feelings. And Nate says he does everything for his daughter as he loves her and wants to protect her, but Jesse calls him out for his social media post allegations that he hid his daughter from a woman he dated for a year, which apparently at the same time he was dating another woman. Of course this is a mess, and Nate defends himself, saying that he was going through a divorce and wanted to protect his daughter, and says that he is growing and that he is changing as a man. Well, we will leave it there, as really Nate is great on screen, but it's hard to say where he lies off screen. He does apologize for his behavior, as there were rumors that he might be in the running for the next Bachelor, but with all the controversy surrounding him, it might not be such a rosy pick, but of course we will eventually see. And then we get treated to a special promo for Bachelor in Paradise Season 8 that will premiere Tuesday, September 27th, where they brought out Serene, Genevieve, Victoria all the way from Peter's season, and also Andrew from Katie's season, all there to promote the next season of Second Chances and Finding Love on the beaches of Mexico. So if you're interested, again, the next Bachelor in Paradise season starts Tuesday, September 27th, where of course there will be drama and most likely people switching sides as much as possible. And finally, Gabby and Rachel make an appearance and talk about how they navigated their double Bachelorette season. Gabby and Rachel talk about how they were grateful that they had each other to lean on through the entire journey, and then we see Gabby and Rachel interact with the men they sent home. First up is Mario, Gabby's first impression rose, where things seemed promising on night one, but they quickly soured. Gabby cites it as she didn't know where Mario truly aligned, but Mario says that when it was time to pick a Bachelorette, he didn't pivot. An obvious slight to Gabby picking Logan over him when Logan decided to switch over to Gabby's group of men mid-season. And then we see Rachel talking to Jordan V, the drag racer she sent home back in episode 2 after only one date. And Jordan V said he has no hard feelings about what happened and respects Rachel for who she is. And then Rachel talks to Tyler, and they rehash what happened at hometown dates. Tyler also has no hard feelings and respects Rachel for having to make the tough decision despite the hurt and emotion of that day. And then we also see Gabby talk to Nate, where they two respect each other and wish each other the best, where Nate still charms Gabby, which is something he does very well. And with that, we are treated to some fun bloopers where it seemed everyone is smelling each other's armpits all season long. I don't know what's up with that, but that's what happened, I guess. And then Gabby and Rachel say they have no regrets about their shared season, and the show teases what's next as Gabby and Rachel head into fantasy suites, where of course the emotions are raw and real, and the hurt of breaking up and choosing eventually the final rose will weigh heavy on both bachelorettes. So that's it for the infamous Men Tell All episode, where a lot of it was just advertising for other things like Bachelor in Paradise Season 8, the Virgin Cruise Ships, and a new movie called Bros coming out soon, and of course the next episode of our double Bachelorette season, where things are all coming to an end. Thank you for watching Whitney Alex Works' recap of the Bachelorette Season 19 Episode 8, The Men Tell All. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe at Whitney Alex Works for more videos in the future. See you next week for Fantasy Suites, where the pressure and romance intensifies.